This is why I created this show. We always hear about black men do nothing, black men don't create nothing for the community, black men don't work together. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had that mentality till I met you. Damn, it was really men like doing this since back in the day and before that. We just don't hear about them.
It's all about the community because I grew up myself with a single mom. You can't never forget where you come from. When you make it, you gotta reach back and help somebody else. It makes me feel good when I can reach back and help a brother, just hearing a brother say I help him. That means a lot because it's each one teach one. God was able to bless me and put people in my life for me to see it, so it's my thing to pay it forward.
What's going on? It's your boy Aristotle Investments. We back with another episode of Kicking It with the OGs. And I got a special OG in the building. It's Dutch. All
What's
right.
up, my brother?
By the way of Atlanta, right?
Yes, sir.
By the way of
Born and
Atlanta.
raised, Zone 4, Grady, baby.
Zone 4 Grady, baby. So what exactly is Zone 4? So you'll know.
Zone 4 is the area I grew up in, which is off Campbellton Road, that whole area. I went to Thayer High School.
Okay.
So we call that Zone 4.
Thayer High School still up?
Yeah, Thayer High still up. It's off Panther Trail, still going.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of cats went to Thayer.
So talk to me about childhood. How was childhood like for you?
Childhood, growing up, my mom we stayed with my grandmother. And, I had to get a job when I started, raking leaves in my neighborhood, washing cars, my neighbor's neighborhood, because, like I said, me and my mom, we stayed with my grandmama. So I didn't have, the extra money kicking in. So I had to find a way to create one. And so that's when I started hustling throughout the neighborhood. And so on Saturdays, all my partners, they like to go to Greenbrier Mall. That was a gold mine area. Me, Toomp, all those people. We want to go to gold mine on Saturdays and hang out at Greenbrier Mall. So you had to have money. Then we want to go to Six Flags. So all the people in my neighborhood was like, baby, come back Saturday and do my yard. I get paid Friday. I pay you. So with my thing, I'm like, okay. I said, I tell you what, I trust you. Talk to people. I said, so let me do your yard during the week. And then you just pay me Friday when you get paid. Because Saturday, we trying to go to Six Flags. We trying to go to Greenbrier, the gold mine. You had the gold mine, you had Hardee's, and then across the street was Kmart, and then you had another game place. So I was trying to get my hustle on then and get paid, do the job and get paid later. Because like I said, I couldn't really go to my mom for no money. You know what I'm saying? So that was the thing that triggered me at that point at a young age to see, reality. Most kids, 10, 11 years old, they just like, parents giving them everything. They not looking at, regular responsibilities. So I had a fast life. Like I said, my mom had me when she was 16. And we stayed with my grandmama pretty much the whole time.
And your dad?
My dad, he wasn't around. He was in Atlanta, but he wasn't around for me. His family, like my aunts, his mom and all them, they stepped in. They was real good. Couple me and my aunts, my aunt Lily, she went to University of Georgia. She married a star basketball player, number 32, Lamar Hurd. Him and Dominique Wilkins were best friends. So I go hang with them on the weekend, and that's how I met Dominique Wilkins, and he just took a liking to me. So he was just like, hey man, we went to go see a game they had at Adamsville Park. They were playing basketball, him and the guys, and Dominique was at the game, and I was with my aunt them, Lily, and I said, well, I'm hungry after the
He
game.
was playing for the Hawks at the time.
Yeah, he was playing for the Hawks at the time. So he was there. This little pickup game they was playing. So Dominique was like, they can come to my mama's house. So Dominique called his mama, so I'm finna come out there with some friends or whatever. Bloom, long story short. So we getting ready to ride out there. I got cool with Dominique, and then over time, we go to them pickup games, and Dominique was like, come on, little man, you can ride with me. I'm in his Benz. I'm like 12, 13 years old riding in Dominique Benz. And then one time we left Adams Park, he was like, I said I had to go back home, get some clothes. He took me through my hood. Man, I told him to ride slow so wasn't nobody out. I wanted everybody to see me in Dominique car. So I got my clothes went on. Dominique was a great guy, you know what I'm saying? Just, it just, like I said, family was there for me. His sisters and grandma was there, but he wasn't there for me.
So we're not going to overshoot that. At 12 years old, you had a personal relationship with Atlanta's #1 basketball star, Dominique Wilkins, because you met him randomly at a park.
No. My aunt went to UGA.
Okay.
Her fiance was Lamar Hurd. They got married. Lamar Hurd was number 32. He
Mm.
played on the basketball team. Him and Dominique was the best man at their wedding.
Mm.
So they was real cool. So
Mm.
my aunt always treated me good. So, if you got a friend who got a nephew or whatever, he just took a liking. He saw a young man, whatever. I don't know if she told him, what it was. And then he was just real cool with me. He was just
Mm.
nice. And we went out to his mama house. I saw his mama house. He was cool. We went to his condo. He had a condo. I forgot where it was. I was young. He had a bad condo. And he
So
just
you
was
got
cool.
to see black wealth at a very young age,
Saw that at a young age. I saw
at
that
12 years old.
12 years old. I saw that at a young age.
Okay, okay. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
I'm 53.
So you 53 and
I'm
at
thankful to
12.
be 53
Right, right.
because I almost didn't make it.
We're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that in itself sparked something in you at a very young age.
That to see him with wealth, see him living like that, and so I had my aunt husband, my other on my mom's side, he would tell me to come over to the house, do their yard, we'll do their yard, and he'll pay me, and we'll get dressed, and he will ride me through Buckhead to look at the nice houses.
Dominique is y'all's Michael Vick. Like what Michael Vick is to us, that's what Dominique was, that figure. Like our Trey
Or
Young, our
or
Michael
Michael
Vick.
Jordan.
Oh, he was
Yeah,
big in
Dominique was
Atlanta.
big, man.
In Atlanta,
Dominique
yeah.
Wilkins in Atlanta.
I mean,
Number
Michael Vick was our
21.
Jordan too, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I would say,
Yeah.
I would say Michael Vick. I would say, yeah, Michael Vick. Yeah,
You get what I'm
Michael Vick.
saying?
Yeah, I
Like
see
he
you tell
was
Michael Vick.
y'all version of that.
Yeah,
Like,
he
and
was.
you
He
got
was
to
the
ride
yeah, yeah.
around and get to
Man,
know him. But I
I
got to
got
know Michael Vick, so that's pretty dope. That's something we got in common.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
and so you grew up in Atlanta.
I grew up in Atlanta,
Grew up in Atlanta.
Southwest Atlanta.
You end up owning the running shoe or the barbershop first.
So I graduated from high school. I started cutting. I was a top barber in high school.
Mm.
That's when my hustle ranged from me washing cars, doing this, and then I
How'd
worked
you
at
learn how
Kroger.
to cut hair?
So I used to go to a barbershop in a local neighborhood named Maurice Hair Gallery. Everybody from Zone 4 know that barbershop. So my uncle would cut my hair time to time. So I had picture day at school, and my uncle wouldn't cut my hair. And I was so pissed that he wouldn't cut it. I said, I ain't gonna never ask him to cut my hair. I'm gonna learn how to cut my own.
Mm.
So as I started going to the barbershop, I started picking up techniques and I started doing it on my own head. And then my partner started trusting me. So by the time I got in the ninth grade at Thera High, I was cutting everybody's hair. Everybody. Everybody had a ninth grade, ninth, 10th. So my junior year, I went to the barbershop to get me a cut. The man wasn't there. So the barbershop packed because everybody went to this barbershop. So they're like, Dutch, let's just go back to your house. I said, shit, Beck. I had already asked all my family members to let me borrow some money for the prom. My uncle would let me use his blazer, and I asked my family I need some money. I want to get, go out to eat, do all, how you on the prom. So we went back to my house. It was about 8:30 that morning. I look up from cutting out these heads. It's 4 o'clock. I gotta get ready for prom. I got a pocket full of money. So I called my family. I said, I don't need no money. I'm good. So I called Maurice at the barbershop. I told him I need a cut. He said, come on. I went over there, got me a haircut, went on to the prom, pocket full of money. My senior year, well, I was ready for it. I was running specials and deals and everything. I probably made my junior year, I probably made about $175, $200 because I cut so many heads. And then my senior year, I don't know what I made, but I had enough money to do everything I need to do. So yeah,
So $200, how in what span?
talking about when I made the money from cutting hair.
Yeah.
So that particular day, it was in one day.
Oh, you saying that's how much you made in one day?
And that one day
How
I made
much
that.
were you charging back in the
I was
day?
charging like $4, $5 a haircut, but I was cutting a gazillion heads, man.
Yeah.
I was cutting heads. And my senior year, I'm pretty sure I did a little bit more. I thought I was charging a little bit more or whatever. So that's what got me sparked on cutting hair, and I got better and better. And then some of my partners, I'll be like, listen, I don't know how to do this. Let me cut your hair. I do it for free. And I started learning. And after that, game was over. And my uncle built me a little area in the back of the house for me to have a little barber shop. Everybody knew it. And so I started cutting. And then when I came out of high school, I went over to Hair Master. That was the barber shop on Campbellton Road. And I started working at Hair Master, built my clientele up. I was on commission. 60-40. I remember the first time I made $1,000 a week. I made 600. Randy done made 400. And it was just like I just started thinking. And then from then on, a partner of mine named Winfrey. Winfrey had he opened up a hair salon and barbershop. He said, Dutch, I want you to come down there and run it, boom, boom, boom. So I went from paying hair masters. I had got up to making I was making good money at hair masters. So when Winfrey came to me, my partner, Winfrey said, it's $150 a week, $600 a month. I said, whoa, I pay more than that a week. I said, okay, bam. So I started paying my booth rent when I went down there. It was called Kieros. When I went down there, I paid the $600 up. It was $150 a week. So I paid that up, and the rest of the money was mine. So that's how my story. Then it went from there, and then met my wife or whatever, and we started kicking, and she started, counting my money when we hanging. She like, you know how much money you made this week? You made $2,500 this week. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, she counting my money? What's up? So, and now she's saying, you probably need to get your own. That's when I end up, oh, God blessed me to open up my own. But while I was at Hair Masters, I was able to get my
we can't
license.
skip over that. You feel like it was your wife who sparked the interest in and made you believe in yourself enough to own your own.
Start my own bop. Because when I was at Hair Masters, I skipped over there. Randy helped me and a couple other guys get our license. So we went to school while we was at there. So he definitely, shout out to Randy Bell. He helped me on Hair Masters. He's still open over on MLK. He started school for
You
us.
want to know something? I told my wife, I said, me and you have a lot of parallels because
Right.
I learned how to cut hair at an early age for the same reason because my mom had 3 girls and 1 boy.
Right.
So she would always focus on doing my sister's hair but neglect my head, right? And it'll be time. So basically I self-taught myself how to cut my own hair, line it up and everything in high school.
Yes.
So when I got to the Army, because in basic training, make a long story short, bald heads.
Right.
So when we get to AIT, everybody has bald heads, right?
Absolutely.
So anything's better than a bald head. So that's how I learned.
Right.
So, I would mess up a few guys' head, but they didn't care but then I learned. I went on YouTube, learned the techniques, and then I was charging $5 a cut starting off. And then I had about 1,700, but by the time I got out of AIT, like probably 2,000, something like that, saved.
Right.
And that was all $5 cuts.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's how much discipline I had, right?
That's,
So we have a lot of parallels. Then when I got to my base, I was charging 10. Then by the
you
time
had stepped it all the way up.
yeah. So and then I was charging 15 by the end, and then I would sell a book with it, my stock market book.
Oh, that was smart. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
that
then
was smart.
what I would do is I would live off my Army money, then invest my barber money into the stock market. So I would take my barber money, take it to Navy Federal. So I was making about $3K a month from barbering.
Wow.
So I would invest $3K a month into the stock market. But once I got married to my wife, it was $4K a month because the Army pay you more. So I was making $4K from the Army and $3K from barbering, but I would live off $3K and invest $4K.
That's smart.
So I would go all money into the stock market, but because I would study and know what I was doing between the haircuts. While while waiting on him to show, I'm reading a book about stocks.
Wow.
Self-teaching myself. So yeah, but I just wanted to, let you know that I see myself in what you were doing. That's crazy.
It's good money in cutting hair.
It's a subscription.
And I see a lot of guys now, they charging $50 to $100.
Yeah.
I got guys who still want me to cut hair. I charge $100 for the guys who just won't let me stop. But I see guys. I want $10,000. Ryan Cameron hosts a fade competition. I won that here in Atlanta. So I'm gonna be honest. I was nervous because the guys had makeup on and all this. It was a fade competition. So I had 2 clients I put in this competition. It cost to get in or whatever. So my wife was with her girlfriends, this and that, and I got nervous. And I told them to take my other model home. So my other model, he was there. He was like, "We gonna win. We gonna win." And I'm talking. These dudes had, I'm talking about makeup. They were doing the black stuff back then, and they were just like, I was just like, I thought we were just doing a fade competition. I brought in one of them Martin. You remember Martin, how Martin wear his fade? I did that, and I did like a Will Smith fade. And so Ryan Cameron said, my client kept saying we're going to win. And Ryan Cameron said, the blend going to win. I said, okay, I got a chance. Because I got a blend. I got a dope blend game. I got a blend game where I call it the two-step. And so we there, and my client, he was like, it's my birthday. We going to win this and that. So it was probably at least 250 barbers at this event. It was huge. And Ryan Cameron was hosting it, and they said the top 5 barbers. So I'm over there. My client, I mean, he everything is energy in the universe. So he kept speaking. He believed without a doubt. He was like, man, we finna win. We finna win. I was like, I damn need this. Because I was nervous. I told her to take the other model home. I was nervous, dude. Because I was, like I said, when I saw the guy. So Ryan Cameron said the top 5. And then they said from Campbellton Road, Dutch. And then I went on up there. We was in top 5. And then they said we're going to do the top 3. They did number 3. They did number 2. And then they said, what's his name? From Campbellton Road. My client jumped up. I told you, Campbellton Road, Dutch. I was like, what?
So you won 10,000.
10 racks, man.
What did you do?
I got a good trophy. But I gave him, I think I gave him like 1,000 or 1,500 of it.
What year was this?
This was in 90.
The fact that it's in the 90s just speaks volume in itself. That's all I need to know, dog.
It was like 93, 92, somewhere in there.
10,000 probably like that's like equal to like a.
That was money.
That's a
But
lot
see,
of
you got
money
to think
back in the day.
you had about 250 barbers entering, and I think to enter it's like $150, $200. So you got to think, you know what I'm saying? Then they had a big place, they had concessions. It was a huge event. That's when really it used to be big, and it was on stage and it was getting down. And I entered because they said a fade competition. Now that's when people wearing finger waves and all that. I really ain't doing that, but putting that tight cut down, I could do that.
I had a question though. So you own the barbershop that
Yeah.
you said rappers like T.I. and stuff used to sell drugs in front of.
Yeah, T.I. was out there. Too Short used to come get his haircut there. I mean,
What was the barbershop called again?
it was called Dutch Barbershop on Campbellton Road.
And you
Killer
said,
Mike used to come up there. That's what he said in that Netflix special they did. He came with, that's the first time he said he heard trap music was at Dutch Barbershop. I mean, you had some of everybody. Polo the Don, I was his barber when he was coming up. I used to cut his brother, Quavo Gold, Polo. I mean, man, you name it. I mean, all of them, all the cats used to come to that. And I used to get my clippers from Rico Wade. See, people don't know Rico Wade used to
from the
sell.
dungeon, right?
Yeah, from the dungeon. He used to work at a beauty supply store. And me and him became cool, and I used to get all my clippers from Rico Wade. Yeah.
So you just like Atlanta. So
I'm-
like
I'm
you know
old.
Atlanta like before.
Before traffic and everything.
Then you
Old Atlanta.
how old were you when Freaknik came out?
Freaknik, I was in my 20s. I had a barbershop on Campbellton Road when Freaknik was out, and my barbershop then closed to 5 that morning. The traffic got so bad, so I called one of my partners. I was like, hey, man, bring your grills, put some meat on there. We're going to sell some meat, and them haircuts going to be 50. They're going to be $50 back then because it was packed. So we ended up being blessed that night, and my wife was pregnant, and she was up there. And me and my partner Bo, Kevin Cameron, we was up there cutting all night long. And then when traffic got jammed, a whole bunch of guys from the Pittsburgh Steelers football team, they came. They all got cut. They was out there eating and drinking. It was lit. Because, they blocked off everywhere. So it was just traffic on Campbellton Road. So people just started, I had a big parking lot where my barbershop was at. They put up there, man. We partied all night, did haircuts, man. It was crazy, man. It was crazy, mad fun. And
So you were hustling during Freaknik.
we
You
were hustling.
weren't-
Yeah,
you-
my barbershop was neutral ground. They never got robbed. We didn't have no problem because everybody who's somebody used to come to my barbershop on Campbellton Road. Everybody. So we didn't have no problems. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had none of that. I had guys in the front. I had guys in the back. I had guys in the barbershop. So we didn't have nothing. Then my partner Big Oop had the record store down on the end. So we would just.
Was Atlanta dangerous during this time?
I mean, you had this crime, but I was on Campbellton Road. I was comfortable on Campbellton Road. I knew everybody, and we were just cool with everybody. You know what I'm saying? We were just cool. I never had problems.
Have you always wanted to invest in stocks, learn the stock market, interested in trading to earn another stream of income? Let's just say the average person in America makes $20 an hour. That's only $160 after an 8-hour shift. With my best-selling option trading beginners course, 6-step process to being a profitable trader, free books, and you even get to watch videos of me teaching celebrities like DC Young Fly from scratch. I can cut your time to make $200 plus in a day in just 1 to 2 hours. Don't believe me? Check out these gangs of accounts from different people that I help flip their accounts 100%. Yes, that means double the money in their accounts. For only $35, you get the best beginners course, 1 week access to my world famous trading signals. I have an 85% win rate already this year. 30 plus hours of additional training, a library of free books, a free beginners Q&A session with you at the end of the week via Zoom link. And I meet up with my community at all the major cities in America annually. You're basically in free because the return on investment I'll give you for only $35, just $5 a day, will 10x. Think about it. If the world shuts down again like the 2020 pandemic, how will you survive if your job decides to lay you off? All of these robots are taking our jobs, but they can't take the stock market. This stream of income could be earned while at home, no boss, and no behind kissing. Tap in. Link in the description, or I'll pin the link in the comments. Keep watching. So do you feel like it's true when they say Atlanta as a whole has been sticking together for a long time? We have more of a culture of sticking together than most other cities.
Yeah, I would say definitely that. Yeah.
When did you realize that, okay, we different from everybody else?
Well, everybody, I start recognizing when everybody come to Atlanta, they be like, "Oh, I can tell you from Atlanta, the way you talk, finna." You know what I'm saying? Just all slang. They be like, "I can tell you from Atlanta." You know what I'm saying? And I knew Atlanta was different because everybody come here and they fall in love with Atlanta.
Right.
Everybody come to Atlanta, they
Yes.
fall in love
And that's
with it.
been since the 90s.
Yeah, that was in the 90s. When Too Short was coming here. So Noonan, I've heard Noonan on Noontime Records. He came here. I was the first guy he hooked up with. I was his barber. And Noonan had a big record, record label, boom, 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 Noontime Records. And then shortly after that, Too Short came. I don't know how they found out about me. And then Too Short started coming to barbershop. And then he would also call me over to the house. And one time he called me over to the house to cut his hair. And Lil Zach, my partner Lil Zach, his daddy used to own the barbershop. Lil Zach was in there. And Lil Zach was there. And he still reminded me about the other day. I had forgot about it. I ended up trimming Biggie Small up at Too Short. He was like, "Man, you remember you did Biggie?" I totally forgot because I was cutting so many people hair. So that's when I met Biggie at Too Short house. I met Ant Banks. I met Scarface through Too Short. Bushwick Bill. I met all them guys through Too Short. And then at record store, he had a pool table down there. So all the guys go down there and shoot pool while they waiting on the haircut.
Time out, you lined up Biggie Small. That's dope.
Biggie Smalls, man.
You did. You
Yeah.
cut Biggie hair.
Yeah, and I used to be Usher. I mean, Ebony. I used to be Usher barber. I was his barber back in like 90. No, it was like 2000. And then in 90, I had a partner I went to high school with. His name was Kelvin Pritchard. He got drafted. He went to Detroit Lions. He was a football player. So around 94, whenever Dallas Cowboys had the Super Bowl here, that's when the Super Bowl here, I was hanging out with Pritchard and we was out kicking it. And some more ball players saw him like, "Man, who put that cut on you?" He said, "My boy right here." So that's when Emmett Smith came to me. He was like, "Man, can you come to our hotel?" It was up in Africa. "Can you come to our hotel and cut our hair?" A couple players. I was like, "Yeah." So I had a chance to get those guys. Shout out my partner Kelvin Pritchard for putting me on. And then Usher saw one of my partners named Darryl Killian haircut, and he was like, "Man, who cut your hair?" And that's when he was like, "But boy," he said, "Can you get him on the phone?" And that's when I started cutting Usher hair. So
That's hard.
I
You cut him like in the 90s.
Yeah, I was cutting him in the 2000s. I cut
2000s.
Usher in the 2000s. Yeah, like 2001, 2, 3, somewhere in there. I was cutting.
That's in his prime too.
Yeah, that was in his prime.
Yeah, that's dope.
When he was dating Chili, around the time when he was dating Chili, yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
So you always was just in the midst of Atlanta, like almost like just cause you was a hustler, like just
yeah,
being
just yeah, I was always respectful. I respected others. I was, cool. I never had problems. I never have a problem because you know what I'm saying. Everything is energy. So I brought good energy. So you bring good energy, it's a mirror. You know what I'm saying. You're gonna have to reflect. So I never had problems or none of that like that. I was just about getting money, having a good time, and enjoying life. So I had it, and then I had it. We had it going on because one of the owners of 112. You ever heard of the club 112?
I heard of the music group, but I didn't
No,
know.
112 was a club in Atlanta that everybody went to. It used to be Red House Piedmont. Then they moved it around. But I was coming to the owner's house, and I would go to 112. They let me in, break the line, all that. So we would just life was just good, man. When I was in there, and
So
then I was
talk. Oh, my fault.
about run and shoot.
Yeah,
Then,
that's what I was gonna
so when I
say.
opened up my barbershop on Camerton, I had an opportunity to own the managers of this run and shoot. So for people who don't know, run and shoot was a big 24-hour basketball gym with a track indoor. It was a track around it, and you could work out. It had weight room and all that. So I had an opportunity to put a barbershop in there. Well, one of the managers called me.
Oh, so you didn't own the run and shoot,
No, I didn't own the restaurant.
but you was
I
able to
owned
put
the
a.
barbershop that was in there.
Okay.
So I went over there, talked to him, whatever. I spent like $15,000-$20,000 just on the glass. So when they playing basketball and the ball hit the glass, it won't break it.
Mm.
So I couldn't put regular glass. So I built the barbershop out. We put it in there, and I ran 24-hour barbers out of there, getting money. I was doing commission at that time. I didn't do booth rent.
Mm.
And I would tell barbers, you know what I'm saying, you're going to run your schedule, then the next man comes. So I had my cousin Rashad, he was cashing money. He'd be called, "Cuz, come up here and get some of this money." We were doing, because it was a 24-hour 24-hour gym, and it cost $1 to get in there. And them dudes running games. It's like I don't know, about 10 whole court basketball courts in there. It was huge. And people played basketball all day long.
Everybody said the run and shoot used to be the spot. Cause like
That
if you
was
look
spot.
at any nostalgic, when they talk about nostalgia Atlanta, they gonna mention the skating rings, but they always say run and shoot.
Run and Shoot had everybody in Run and Shoot went there to work out. You remember that was the way. You ever heard of Tybo? Billy
Yeah,
Blanks?
yeah.
Billy Blanks' brother would do Tybo there, and Billy Blanks would come. So it was hot, bro.
Where was this?
Right off Stewart Avenue.
Okay, and why did it close down?
I don't really know. I think mismanagement of money. And then they started charging $4 or $5 a day, and it went good. But I think stuff started changing. So, but when it was $1 a day, man, they were seeing probably, dude, I can't tell how many people come. I mean, it might have been 15, 20,000 people come a day out of there, man, because it's $1. Then I think you could do a membership, but to come in there and hoop was $1 a day,
So
and then
you
you can
own a
go
barbershop.
24 hours playing basketball, lifting weights. They had a weight
How
room.
old were you when you owned that barbershop on Run and Shoot and when you owned the barbershop in Camilton?
The
When you
one when
first
I opened up Camerton Road first, I was 22 when I opened up Camerton Road.
you opened up a barbershop in Atlanta at 22
I
years
was
old.
22, and then I opened up another hair salon and barbershop in a Publix Plaza off Highway 85 and 138.
At 22.
Now I opened that up, I was about 25,
And
26.
then you
Then I
had the
opened up Run and
barbershop.
Shoot in 98, 98, 99, I opened up Run and Shoot.
So
Yeah,
you just had lots of barbershop and hair salons at
yeah,
first.
yeah. So I
That was
did
dope.
that, and yeah, yeah. And I had a hair
And
salon
that was
until
all in your 20s.
all in my 20s. Then
And
when I got
then
my,
and if you don't mind me asking, what age did you make your first million?
I touched a million, I would say in my 30s, early 30s.
20 years ago, 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
Like in like the early 2000s, late
Yeah,
2000s.
yeah, yeah. Cause we was doing a little real estate, and then we was doing I ended up buying, we got a daycare. And that's when things changed. Real different. Real different.
So I did want to talk about that. So you transitioned and then now you own
So I
the
sold I
daycares
sold all my barbershops. I had a guy, I think he still got some barbershops. He came over and he made me an offer, a big offer for my hair salon out there in Riverdale, because I was in a public shopping plaza. and it was a big subdivision behind me. So we had walk-ins. It was nice. I had a custom wood grain chair stations. It was laid. That's when the salon started looking good. I had my name in neon lights. Dutch Cuts and Styles was the name of it. I made the newspaper out there in Clayton County, and it just was taking off. So I sold that shop. Then I sold the one in Running
You
Shoe.
said you had one in Riverdale?
It was Riverdale, Highway 85, corner Highway 85, 138. It was a
I
big
think I've been to your barbershop before. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It was real nice
Yeah.
laid. And so a guy came and made me an offer and I sold it. I forgot the name of his shops. I think it's Future Cuts, a guy named Mike. He came and made me an offer and cut that check and I sold it. And I put all that money towards the daycare because when I got daycare, all hands was in when my wife got the daycare. All hands was in. We had to
How
we had
many
to
do you
grind.
own now? How many daycares?
So I have one building on Cascade, but I have 13 locations inside of Fulton County schools.
So
Inside
you,
of school, yeah.
so you have 13 daycares.
They after school programs inside the school, and I got a daycare on Cascade. It's about 11,000 square feet. That daycare, it's huge.
11,000 square feet
And that
daycare. And
daycare
then
was Miss Clark had it. It was called Cutter Corner, and she opened it up in the late '60s.
mm,
She had that daycare that long, so everybody know it used to be called Cutter Corner.
and
So yeah,
then and then 13 locations. You said 13 daycares
they
or
after school programs is in the school. We provide after school care for kids in the
oh
schools. Yeah,
at 13 different schools.
yeah.
And can you talk to me about what does that consist of? You offer after school programs at schools.
At the schools. I offer it for the kids. They transition from the school. They don't have to be transported on no school bus or nothing. They come out of my program. We feed them a snack. Once we give them a snack, then I have certified teachers assist with them with their homework. And then I bring in different people. I got karate. I have cooking classes. I have all kind of different things for the kids to get into while they're not at school. And then at 5 o'clock, I have a catering company that come and bring them hot meals because if you notice, most kids eat at school at 11 o'clock. So those kids are hungry. And some kids only get one meal because, the lives of some of the kids in the areas that we service. So, and then I start seeing parents who, would be working. They come get their kid, and I hear them say that, I got McDonald's in the car. You got to come on. You got to get ready for practice. So I try to intervene as much as I can, and I start feeding healthy meals. So when a parent come get their kid from me, they have already had their homework completed. They have exercised. They have had a snack, and all they got to do is either go to practice or go home with their parents and unwind and spend time with their family. Or they, if they want to have dinner again, they can. But most of the kids gonna be fed, and we try to have definite nutritious meal, but benefit our kids because eating out is not good for the kids now.
Mm,
So that's something I want to be very impactful for the kids and change the kids' life. And then we got a basketball program, everything. So all my locations, we play each other in basketball. And
mm.
then I have cheerleaders. So all the cheerleaders, they be with their basketball team. So their cheerleaders big program. And I want no problem. So I hired a referee, this guy named Blitz, and my partner Bert. Bert, they real referees, licensed referee, and they come out and referee my game. Shout out to my partner Bert. He did that. So it's a big event. So when you got a game going on and people won't say you show favoritism, so that's why I brought outside people to it. And then I hired different coaches. So I don't coach none of the teams. I cheer for both sides because they're all mine. And it's about having fun and engaging our kids. And they can do, they get the cardio in, they get to have fun, they get to
This is why I created this show because we always hear about on social media, according to social media, let them tell it. Black men do nothing. Black men don't create nothing for the community. Black men don't work together. If people been watching this whole interview, all you talking about, yeah, my partner, we're working with him. It's a black
right,
man working with him. And
right,
I opened up this daycare to
right,
take
right,
care of the community, and I
right,
had these barbershops since I was
yeah,
22.
yeah,
So it's like, I'm going to be honest with you. I had that mentality till I met you. Like, you opened up my mind of like, damn, it was really men like doing this since back in the day
yeah,
and before that.
yeah.
We just don't hear about them.
We don't hear
We
about it,
hear
right,
about the majority as if we all lost.
right,
But it was a lot of black men, like you
right,
said, who had money, who touched millions back
right,
in the day in the
right,
90s.
right.
Yeah, so you definitely making me understand that. Cause like
Yeah.
that's dope that you were thinking about the community even before.
It's all about the community because I grew up myself with a single mom.
Mm,
So that's one of the things, like me and my partner who own the U-Bar and VVS, Al, we used to give back and do turkeys because we was raised by single moms. So we always give turkeys out at the VVS and the U-Bar to single moms. We always do that because you can't never forget where you come from.
that's
And you
facts.
gotta, when you make it, you gotta reach back and help somebody else. And that's something we gotta continue on because we all was little boys and we saw people living and riding and stuff like that. So to see that I was blessed to make it, it makes me feel good when I can reach back and help a brother. Just hearing a brother say I help him, that means a lot because it's each one teach one, and you never can burn bridges. You can never say I made it, I ain't got to do that. You can't use that energy because God was able to bless me and put people in my life for me to see it. So it's my thing to pay it forward. And that's what, like, if everybody was to pay it forward, every man look in the mirror and pay it forward, we would have a better place with the people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of young boys, because I could have been out here getting in trouble the whole nine. Because hustling is hustling. You know what I'm saying? So to have people to guide you is what we need. Instead of tearing the young brothers down, we got to create opportunities for young men as well.
Okay. So you also talk to me, of course, privately. You'll talk like this regardless, the camera's on or
Right.
off. So talk to me about some spiritual advice that you can give to young men and women. Like, what are some gems you would like to drop on us about that?
When it comes to spirituality, the first thing I tell people, the journey I took, you got to go back to ancient Kemet to understand where you come from, understand your greatness, understand the power that you
And
possess.
what's ancient Kemet?
Ancient Kemet is in Africa.
Of course.
It's all the stuff when we was very powerful. You know, we created the language, all that. Imhotep, it was a doctor. He did everything. We was very powerful, but that knowledge was lost. But you still can go back and find it. And once you find out who you are and what you're capable of, because we have so much greatness inside of us, but it's almost like you getting a cell phone. If you get a new Apple cell phone and you don't know how to work it, you don't know how to capability, then somebody else come along and tell you. So that's how we are. We're so powerful. We're energy beings. We're spiritual beings. We're born spiritual. We're taught religion. So once you understand where you come from and what you're capable of doing, you can tap into that. Like a lot of brothers don't know about their third eye. A lot of people just don't know about energy, frequency, and vibration. And once you understand who you are and the power of your tongue, we create our life from speaking it, good or bad. We vibrate in this quantum world. We vibrate what we want, good or bad. So if you vibrate something bad gonna happen today, that's what you attract to you. But if you vibrate, I'm gonna be okay. And that's one of the things at a young age I started vibrating. I don't want to be struggling. I don't want to be poor. I want to help people. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand in which we come from. Everything they teach you, you got to figure out where you come from. Sometimes his history is his story, but I need to know our story. And that's why I started back because I was so confused on so many things. I went back and I just did a deep, intense study on ancient Kemet. I found about the Moorish society that was in Spain. They never were slaves. So once you start seeing that and you see and you start hearing the power and the stories that these people was having and how they built these pyramids and the pyramids stay 72 degrees all the time. The original name for the pyramid is Mur, Mur, which stands for house to ascend. So you would go in there for healing. So when you go back and you understand that, and each pyramid sit on the earth grid because it translates energy and power. You know what I'm saying? So when you find out all those things, and we built them, you know what I'm saying? And the measurements and the mathematics with the pyramids are so when you learn, that's when you come from that greatness, then you want to just get involved in that and get invoked in that. And that's what all of us have to understand. You got to dig inside and understand your third eye. Understand that energy is flowing through your body.
So I already know the audience is gonna ask us, what is the third eye? How do you unlock it?
Well, if you look at our water system, they put fluoride in our water. Fluoride dims your third eye. So you got fluoride in your toothpaste. I don't use regular toothpaste because it dims your third eye. It's so many things going on where it dims it, but you have to be able to get into it, and you have to just tap into it. And it's meditation. Meta means to heal. Just like medicine and meditation. Meta means to heal. So we have to find that time every day where we can sit and listen to ourselves and talk with ourselves and and really understand who we are. A lot of us don't know who we are. And that's a dangerous thing to do. You have to sit and spend time and you have to do breathing techniques because people don't believe breathing work. Try to stop breathing for 3 to 4 minutes and see what happens. You out here. So we have to understand what the breathing do to you when you breathing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when I started meditating and I can feel on my head, it start tingling. And I was telling one of my partners, I was like, it's almost the same as when you pulling the blunt. When you breathe it in, breathing out, part of that, when you smoking, you get that high from that. You get a high from doing meditation. So we have to understand that as people, where we come from, we're bigger than what they're telling us that we are. We're very powerful. We're very, very, very powerful.
So you believe exactly what I believe. So I asked you about spirituality,
Right.
and the first thing you said was to black people is not go open the Bible, but to go learn thyself first, figure out where you come from,
Learn
figure
that
out where your
self.
people come from.
Learn that self.
And that's what I tried to preach, but it's hard to really tell people that because they're like, well, my grandma said and my mama said. So what would you say about
So
that?
when your mama said we've been indoctrinated, a lot of books in the Bible are not a lot of books that was in the Bible not in the Bible. So on the walls of the pyramid, they have all the books of the Bibles on there. That's why it's very important. And I'm getting a chance to take a trip over there. But you have to understand that those people came over to Africa and they saw these people working fine tuned and they got everything going. They built pyramids. They don't understand them to this day. So you got some party that came and took people from their land and brought them somewhere else and gave them a day to worship. The Sabbath day is Saturday. I don't care what kind of research you do. The Sabbath day is Saturday. But everybody go to church on Sunday because the man said go to church on Sundays. You know, so they tell you that Jesus is white. But you know, in your head, you know Jesus wasn't white, coming from that part of Africa. So we have to stop listening to their story and we got to read for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? That's what we have to do. We start reading and understanding for ourselves because how can you understand a man that take you, rape your family, rape the women, and then tell you this who you need to pray to? So the indoctrination is real hard on us. You know what I'm saying? So once you get over that thing and it gets, but I tell people go back and learn your story, not the story he
I
telling.
definitely want to keep touching on that because,
Yeah,
like, you're an older person saying this.
yeah,
Like, you're not,
yeah.
most older people don't speak like you.
And I'm a
Like,
person. I'm also a person like that, and I'm a person that died and came back. So I can tell you that that picture they painted is white. It's not who you see when you go to the other side.
mm,
You understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand and learn our story. But hey, you ain't gonna believe me. Everybody hate Putin, the Russian president, but he just put it out there that Jesus was black. So that's what I'm trying to say is he said it. We got to know who we are.
they been said it. They even
Yeah.
said it was locked up in Russia in the hidden colors. They
Yes.
said
Yes.
Putin took some of the artifacts,
Yes.
and then 10 years later, he's showing the artifact that they said he took, even in the hidden colors. So that's how
Yeah.
I know it's real
Yeah.
because they said
I
he took some
posted
of the
that on
artifacts.
my Facebook and on my Instagram, and I probably got about 200 views. 200 views. You know, and I always had a problem as a kid when I saw them post a white man up there supposed to be Jesus our Savior. So when somebody will lie to you about the God you're supposed to serve, that's a very dangerous mindset
They
person.
don't
When they
understand
when they
that.
yeah, and then when they lie to you and tell you the Sabbath day is Sunday and it's Saturday, and you can look it up. So that's when I said, if I want to learn something, I got to go back to ancient and figure out what it was, what we was doing, and understanding the power of our tongue, brother. Speaking, oh man, speaking is a vibration. So when you speaking stuff, you really create it. And that's what one of those rappers I just looking at the news other day. What's the guy name from New York? Casanova. What's the name? The brother got locked up. He said
Yeah.
he believed that because he spoke it. But I've been telling people what you speak and you believe, you're attracting it to you because we're energy beings and we vibrate that signal and we attract to us that. So we have to understand our life from a quantum field. You know what I'm saying? It's so much we got to understand. So much we need to be learning that we don't get engaged, and it's so important. But it's been there waiting on us. They said when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. You know, it's a lot of knowledge we need, learn about ourselves because we're so capable and so powerful.
Yeah, it's your boy Lil Baby. I'm right here with Aristotle Investment.
Poppy Seed, you got with me too.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Big Glow, and I'm right here with my boy Aristotle.
Get it.
He about to teach me about these dividends and saving money.
It's your boy DC Young Fly, man. I'm here with my boy Aristotle.
Shout out to Aristotle. I took his class.
Man, this dude is the truth, dog. He just put me on game on like investments, dividends, stock market.
I sit around with a bunch of my friends and we talk about stocks all day now.
Man, I'm telling you, man, it's crazy, stupid knowledge. You dig?
I've learned so much. Aristotle has put my trading level on top.
I done learned so much about stock trading, options in particular. It's really changed my whole life and concept about money and investing.
This dude taking people off the corner, man.
I can honestly just say that like before Aristotle, dude, I was trading off of impulse. A little bit of stuff I learned off of YouTube. But this package, it's the real deal. It'll get you trading off of real facts. You'll be able to back check and you'll be able to know what you're doing, not just jump in because you think it's right.
I really should go check out their campaign if you really got something going on. Y'all know me, I'm trying to get my 100 M's any kind of way I can. Yep.
This is Aristotle Investments, and welcome to Stock Sundays, where I go over a recap of last week's top news you may have missed, option trade recaps and strategies I take, important data and earnings to look forward to, a watch list for next week. And if you stay to the end, I do a live Q&A.
Live. Every Sunday.
Tap in. So talk to me about some of the directions young men should take to start knowing thyself. What are some resources you would tell them to watch? What are some books you'll tell them to read?
A lot of hidden colors.
Yeah.
I was blessed to meet a guy named Dr. Ray Hagins, Brother Kaba. He on Instagram. He's another brother. His brother, he's so deep. He write curriculums for all colleges and everything. He write curriculums. And oh man, he deep. He went over to ancient Kemet and started studying it. He able to translate the original Bible that's on the wall of most of those pyramids or Mer, House of Sin. He could translate them and talk about them. So I would tell people to start to find out. One of the top doctors is Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson. He been talking about this all the time. Now that brother dropped that knowledge. Ben Carson, he died.
I heard of him.
Yeah, he died at, I think, 95. And most of the guys I'm telling you about, he was their teachers. I never got a chance to meet him, but I was going to meet him. But Ben Carson dropped that knowledge, man. He dropped that knowledge about us. And when you hear this knowledge, it's something inside of you gonna tingle. Cause all we understand is they spraying us with water hose. They talking about this, they talking about that. And now some of us are living up to that. And we gotta change that perspective. Cause we kings. We kings. And some people say we are a God, not the God, but we are gods. So once you know yourself, you walk in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You look at yourself in a certain light. Because we powerful. We created everything. Math, paper. Just go back and look at the stuff that I tell you in hidden colors. We created so many things. The toilet stool, the red lights, just everything that we have. That even when it come down to Kentucky Fried Chicken, the original recipe that came from a black lady. Her family still suing them right now for that. You know, because the mother was cooking for the colonel. And she was cooking the chicken and he'll be man, pull out what that chicken? She said, oh, it's just the original recipe. And that's how they came up with recipe. And they got her recipe and all that. So her family hasn't got no money from. So we so great. It's so many stories that go on and on and on and on. You know the lottery that we play now? Well, it's a movie about the lady who created the lottery that was in the black community up in New York in the 1920s. The movie Hoodlum with Larry Fishburne in. That lady is real. She created the number system, and they broke in the house. If you look at it, and they took out stuff, they created the number system, and they ran it for years, and now they got the Georgia lottery and lottery all over the world created. So you just check that out with that lady. It's Hoodlum is the movie. So it's a lot of deep stuff being some of these movies, man.
So basically, what you're saying is, and I say the same thing because a lot of people ask me where do you find the energy to believe in yourself? And it was because of Black history and African studies.
That's right.
So I already knew that we invented the traffic light,
Yeah.
Gary Morgan. I knew we invented the engine inside the Model T.
Yes.
That Henry Ford is using. The black man
That's
actually
right.
invented that.
Absolutely, bro.
We invented ice cream. We invented
Yes.
doorknob. We invented dustpan. We
Yes.
invented the AC.
Yes.
We invented the refrigerator.
The GPS system.
Yep. We invented
Yeah.
the cellular phone.
Yeah.
I think his name is T. Sampson.
Yeah.
who
I have
invented
all
the
that on my Facebook, Instagram. I'll be
Yeah.
posting all the time.
So I knew all of that, but I never really said out loud that I knew it. I just something you know.
Yeah.
And then the hidden colors was the icing on the cake. My first instance of realizing that we were great was what we invented.
That's right.
And we invented the light bulb. Like
That's
they
what I'm
say
saying.
Thomas Edison invented, he didn't. I think it wasn't Lattimore, was it?
No,
It was a dude who invented the inside of
Yes.
the
Yes.
light bulb to make it light.
Yes.
Thomas Edison couldn't make it light. A
Right.
black man who was a scientist
Yes.
had to show him how to make it light.
Absolutely.
And then of course Carver with the studies of the peanut.
Yes.
And they said they castrated him. Because that's why he talks
Yeah.
so light and everything. So
They have when it comes to looker, it was a black person. You just hearing about it. It's what is the looker? It's the lookout. It's a black man who created, was it Hennessy or whatever? He created that, and now his family just now they got their own brand. I forgot what it was. It's one of the
one of the fastest growing.
it's either Hennessy or vodka or something. A black man had came up there first, and now they give him paying homage to him now, so his family has where they can make a little money. But it's so many things that we have greatness inside of us, but it's on you to dig it and get it out.
But what I'm trying to explain to young black men is if it was a man who could invent the thing that lights up the light bulb, the traffic light, the gas mask, the man who invented it, his name and the blood fusion transplant, Charles Drew.
Yeah.
So without that saved lives to
It
this
saved
day.
lives, yeah.
The traffic light,
Right.
the light bulb, the refrigerator,
Oh,
the air
man.
conditioning. If these black men, that's the first thing I thought was, wow, we're the geniuses.
Imhotep was the first one to do open brain surgery on the head.
Right.
Imhotep. He was the first person documented to do surgery on somebody's brain, and then I
Right.
think the heart as well. Yeah, Imhotep. That's his name back in the day. Yep.
Yeah. So and then people are naturally healing themselves with herbs, going to Dr. Sebi and when he was
Come
in
on,
Mexico
man. Come on.
and all of that. So I'm letting them know you're smart, you're bright, because people who look like you did it,
But see, people have to first realize when you get to thinking and when you go to meditating, you really understand if they can get some powder and you sniff it and it's gonna make you act a certain way, and they can get you some flour that you can burn and make you act a certain way. Why you don't think it's herbs out there that will change the molecular structure of your body and heal you? That's crazy for you not to think that.
Some people don't believe it.
They don't believe it.
Like how you said, how we were talking about how if these people actually researched the history of the Bible, actually understood that if they'll give you a white Jesus and a this and that,
They give that white Jesus.
Like they're gonna trust anything. Like they believe a ginger ale heals them.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
So
And the main thing they tell you, it doesn't matter what color Jesus is. I said don't, but the truth always set you free. Why you gonna put up there? Why you put this man with this just like this?
and they'll still do it.
You know what I'm saying? And then you go even deeper. Jesus' name was Haru, Heru. So if you Google Haru
Egypt.
versus Jesus, and you're gonna see it was Haru, Heru.
Yeah, they're using his story. It's an ancient
Mhm.
story
Yes.
by the
Yeah.
Egyptians.
Yeah.
but
So we
they,
have people. You gotta, as y'all young people say, you gotta be woke.
you do.
Yeah, so you got to be woke to understand what's going on. But we got to wake up because you know what we got going on with this president and change they making. You got to be woke right now. And that's one thing, like my son, I told him, he started gardening. He got a garden in his backyard. He growing everything. He got one at the daycares. He got them at the schools. He growing, he's learning that, teaching people, because we don't know what's going to happen, how we here. You got to be able to grow your own. He talking about, we got the argument all day. He talking about he want to get some chickens. I say, you're right, but you just can't do it everywhere. But my son want to get chickens, so we have our own eggs. But I know he's going to do it because he started at a garden. My uncle taught me when I was young how to do garden, and then my uncle retired, and then he taught my son. And my son didn't know I knew how to do it, but that is something a man, Killer Mike always said, a man, when you learn how to grow your food and you go fishing and catch your food, you're in a good position. Because like I said, what we facing with now, you got to know how to be able to grab it, because all this stuff is fake food we eat. You got watermelon with no seeds in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's like a person without a soul.
Mm-hmm.
GMO. And then we having side effects from eating that. A friend of mine became a diabetic eating grapes. The grapes without seeds, that ain't that much sugar. That's just GMO. It's genetically modified. So, we got to get back to the old way we were, man. And slow this pace down we on and get to doing it, because, man, they'll kill us off.
I believe so too.
Yeah.
So what are some if you had to give advice to an 18-year-old young woman and young man about what they should do with their life, what would you tell them?
I tell them to find and look into some things that they will want to do and get as much knowledge as they can. And don't take this stuff for granted. And learn from everybody. Some of these young people look at a couple of videos and Instagram, they think they know everything. It's just the beginning. So I think people need to really know thyself, and everybody has a journey here on earth. Some people find it, some people don't. But I tell the young folks, start looking for it. Don't look at what Boo Boo over there doing. Find out what's your journey, and get as much knowledge as you can. And trade school or whatever you got to do, learn like yourself. You self-educate yourself on the stock market. That's ingenious, bro. That was great. For you to set aside and do that, that's amazing. And now you one of the top people out here doing it. That is, so we all have to be an inspiration to the next person. You know what I'm saying? We have to inspire people and ignite that energy in them and light that fire for these young people, because they some of them living a microwave of life. They just think it's gonna come to them. So I would definitely tell the young folks, man, to get as much education on themselves and find some things that they would enjoy doing in life, and some things that they can make a difference in this world.
I think so too, man. So yeah, man, y'all have it, man. It's my guy Dutch. Now, I ain't done yet, because I got a few more questions. But one thing I do want to say is, like, one of the top OGs I want to get on the show for sure, because it's like
I appreciate that, brother.
it's like the talking points. Like, I be wanting to hear like the real. I don't know how to explain it, and people who come from experience. Like, I want to see. I think the thing I like about talking to OGs is that y'all had money before the internet.
Oh yeah.
So y'all way of thinking is, because to me it's easier to make money.
Yeah, it is.
It's the internet, right?
But gotta keep it.
Now we can talk about that too. Like, so you watch guys get it and lose it, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the mistakes they made, in your opinion?
One thing is, as black people, financial literacy. That is the most important thing. We all know we want money, but do we all know what to do with it when we get it? And unfortunately, a lot of brothers get that money and they go buy the cars, they go to the clubs, they buy the jewelry, and then they blow through the money. So you got to find a way to look out for your future. It's really sad when I see people when they die and they doing a GoFundMe for this person. You know what I'm saying? It just we have to get our financial literacy together and understand what's going on. And our family, we got to understand what a trust is, what a will is. We have to get those things in place. We don't like to talk about it, but it's reality. And we have to get those and getting life insurance. You know what I'm saying? It's just our people has to, that's where you come in at on having financial literacy, brother. We got to understand that. And that's something that should be taught in school, but we also have to teach it at home, and then we have that. So, that's one thing I think that's missing in our community, because there's brothers out here getting money. There's no doubt about that. There's brothers getting that money, but knowing what to do with that money and keep that money and sustain over time is something that we face with.
Okay. And then we talked about that. It was one more question I had. That was a very good question. What is some advice that you would give young men on finding the right wife?
Find the right wife.
Like, what characteristics should he look for in a woman?
First, as a young man, we have to be ready for a wife.
Mm.
That's the thing that young men
That's
have to
very
be.
true.
He got to be ready, because a lot of young men dog over the women out here. There's good women, and a lot of women out here dog over good men. So you have to be ready for that. Everybody wants somebody pretty, put on their shoulder, this and that, blah blah blah. But you got to be in a space where you ready to put somebody before you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because a woman is the man that we're not. And if you look at society as people who ain't never went to college and read a book, if you look at the ants and you look at bees, who do they worship? The queen bee and the queen ant. In ancient time, the queen was bigger than the king. So we have to understand, and all life comes from a woman, a female. If you got a neighbor, you came from a woman. That was your biblical cord. So we have to understand, we have to get back and understand and respect our women. And our women have to put themselves in a position where we give them respect. And so a brother can go out here and be like, I want to be able to take her home and meet my family. I want to be a part of her life. You know what I'm saying? So a brother has to look for a woman with qualities, a woman that's serious. She ain't out here in these streets. You know, and sometimes you have to say, well, what age is that? You know, some girls are ready when they in their late 20s, early 30s, some ready in their early 20s. But, you know, somebody who focus. So the key is a man has to be ready to accept, because I know a lot of people miss each other. Meaning the young man met a girl, or a girl don't dog them out. He lame, girls calling guys lame and this and that, but he end up being would be the best thing for you. You out here getting ran through by these other guys. You know, so we have to put ourselves in position to know what it is, and if we ready to get married, because when you get married, you got to put somebody before yourself. And then when you have kids, you definitely got to be ready to put somebody before you when you're kids.
So you feel like, in reality, a lot of people are jumping into parenthood and marriages when they're not ready.
I would say they're not ready, especially parenthood, having kids. You know, because like I said, I was born. My mama had me when she was 16, so that play a role in it.
Yeah.
Just our people. You know, just like I said, it's just a lot of people life trying to impress this person, impress that person, man. And you really got to be out here grinding and build your family up. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of guys get out here and, you know, want a real pretty girl, but that don't mean she gonna be a good wife. She's some eye candy, but it ain't your beauty, it's your duty, and you gonna understand that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get a woman, you see the woman, she come over your house, she start cleaning up your house, start folding clothes. That's how it was when I met mine. She made sure everything I had was doing. You know, I was cutting hair, she would come up there and clean my station.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's when you know when you got one.
Yeah.
You know, not just sitting there, you know, this and that. She see what you need and she fulfill it just like us men. Like the saying is with women now. When I tell a man I want to go out on a date, I need to get my nails done. I need him to cash out me money to get my nails done, all that kind of stuff. So you expect a man, what is a woman, you know, so it works both ways. So you have to get somebody who mature in the mind and a woman who can hold her own, and she don't need a man for financial. She you know, they can build together. That's what me and my wife did. We build together. You know, so it's just
It's a different conversation.
yeah, it's different, definitely.
Definitely. So another thing I want you to give us wisdom on is, when we get the money, how do we deal with family entitlement
When you're dealing with family entitlement,
and friend entitlement and all of that?
friend entitlement, you deal with that. It comes on different levels when you're dealing with that, because you do have family money with your family create jealousy. They become envy of you. And then they want to talk about you. See that with the celebrities. You see that with people hit the lottery. You see that with people get money. They family, you know, either hate on you or whatever. So that comes with people unhappy. And most people in our family, we're gonna have unhappy people in our family. And they feel that when you get money, you're gonna be able to change their lives. I've seen stories. I know guys, I won't call them names. I know guys went pro in a sport and bought a whole subdivision for the family to live in, and they didn't have no note, and then they're gonna know. So it's just it's just your mindset. And I think when you get to that point, family need to learn financial literacy so they'll know how to move. But that money will change, will have people envying you because they feel the money you make, you need to just give us that. Instead of when you were struggling to get that money, come on and grind with me. Don't look at me now that I got it and say I owed it to you. Now you sound like the IRS now. You know what I'm saying? So
how do you deal with it? Because you had to have gone through it. You got money, you're a black man, so it's impossible to avoid it.
My family's cool.
You don't have to like name, but just how do you generally deal with it?
Me, myself, I didn't really have those problems because when I started making moves, I would always host Christmas and Thanksgiving at my house. I'm in my 20s. And so my family looked at me different. You know what I'm saying? They didn't look at me. And I always kept the family around, but they know I wasn't no bullshit either. So they respect me on that level. So I didn't really face, I had a little, jealous, this and that, but I always stayed family oriented. We always had Christmas, still to this day. I'm going to host Christmas, I'm going to host Thanksgiving. I'm in charge of doing all that. I've been doing that since I was 22, 23 years of age. You know what I'm saying? Just in growth. So it just, your family just got to love and respect you. And when it comes to that money, they just got to understand this is your money. And ain't no sense in us falling out because a lot of people fall out over money. And I have had a couple of situations where I had my family, we fell out over money, but I told them we bigger than that. But you do have those situations where people feel entitled to what you got. And when they don't have it, oh, shit, you got it. You need to go on and give it to me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. And then you don't give it to them or when you gave enough. So I always said, I give them enough money that they can borrow. And when they don't pay it back, I don't worry about them asking no more because you still owe me from last time. How you gonna come? Your credit bad right now. so they go to running from you then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now I'm gonna go on and give you this, but when you gonna pay me back? All right. When I see you next time, I'll say so. So when you see you like, you got that. I'll go ask you, can I get another 1,500 that fast? No, you wouldn't for that, that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. So yeah.
Well, y'all have it, man.
Yeah.
It's Dutch. We uncovered a lot today. We covered family entitlement. We covered spirituality as a young man. We covered the whole nine, just what it's like growing up in the old Atlanta, one of the most magical places on the universe where a lot of black men come together and get money, as you can see. And we don't do too much hating on each other. That's the biggest thing about that.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all check out this episode of Kicking with the OGs. Link in the description if you want to sign up for Honey Drip. And we out. Peace. Get it. Here's why you need to get this ebook right now. It is the best stock market ebook on the market. And to cater to you guys' short attention spans, everything I can't say on one page, I say in the video. So all you gotta do is click watch video, and it'll go straight to a video. What's going on, Mythbusters? Okay. Let's get this thing started. Let's get this through. You'll see that I'm talking about a lot. Is something we're always going to be doing, day trading especially. Facebook users, click the link. Instagram users, you can simply comment the word book on any of my posts or under this post to get the link sent to your DM for the book. It is $24. It will literally teach you from A to Z how to get started. Let's get it.